Well, today the ANC celebrates 104 years of its existence. President Jacob Zuma will deliver the ANC's January 8th statement tomorrow at the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in the northwest. Well, for more, let's cross to our SABC News reporter, Aldrin Sampear. He is standing by with the ANC's national chairperson, Baleka Mbete. Aldrin, a very good morning to you as always. Tell us a little bit more about what we can expect today.
Well, good morning, Ayanda. We're coming live to you from the Royal Bafokeng Stadium. This is where the main event for the celebrations will be taking place tomorrow, starting tomorrow morning. And as you said earlier on, the President Jacob Zuma will deliver the keynote address, and that is the ANC's January 8th statement that will be happening right here. As you can see at the moment, the stage is being currently set up and preparations are well underway. But right now, I'm joined by the national chairperson of the ANC, Ms. Baleka Mbete. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's first start with the issue around the program. The NEC had announced earlier on that there won't be any messages of support coming from the alliance partners, but now it has backtracked. What informed that decision?
I think let's start with saying compliments of the season to South Africa and welcome to the ANC birthday celebrations. The consideration when earlier we had indicated that we did not want other speeches except for the president's speech is simply the issue of ensuring that the president speaks no later than 11 o'clock because of that sun. We've been told we should expect temperatures to be as high as 41 degrees tomorrow. And our concern as a caring organization is that the people by then will have been here. We know what happens every year quite early in the morning. And when the sun is like that already at this time, it means by the time our program unfolds around midday, it's too long for people to take that sun. However, as a listening organization again, we did hear that our partners were unhappy about the arrangement. Hence, we are able to say we will accommodate the messages of support from our alliance partners and still make sure that we start such that the national anthem and then the president's speech are within time and the president speaks no later than 11 o'clock.
Well, and I guess taking such a decision also means that what the ANC is basically showing and the alliance is that there is unity, because that was some of the concerns raised by the alliance partners, the SACP as well as COSATU and SANCO, that not allowing the alliance partners to speak would somehow create the impression that there is disunity.
Hence, I'm saying we've heard that representation and that issue is behind us now. Tomorrow, we're full blast, we're ready, and the program is as already explained.
And let's speak quickly about the significance of the January 8th statement. 1972, OR Tambo there is in Lusaka, first drafting that the first January 8th statement. And here we are in 2016, and we have a January 8th statement happening in a democratic South Africa. And that statement, the first statement from OR Tambo, was looking at when the ANC rules, when we have a non-racial South Africa.
Yes, remember the ANC outside South Africa was operating under very different circumstances, but under a very sober, good, fatherly figure and leader, Comrade O.R. Tambo, who thought of ideas to keep us together, to start with, but also to keep us, the community outside South Africa, together with the rest of our people, because home was always inside South Africa, and therefore we did not have a life separate from the life of South Africans inside South Africa. And so over the years, the January 8th statement was something that both we as a community outside South Africa as well as people at home looked forward to. Because, you know, outside South Africa, we were scattered all over the world. We were all over different countries. And, of course, the nature of the community or the country in which the ANC community itself lived and operated would determine the detail of our type of existence in that particular place. So the January 8th statement has become a very, very important time, and in fact a way of saying to us, nangu umkhombandlela. These are the marching orders for the next 12 months until we come again and we regroup and we listen to the next set of the marching orders from the leadership. Because remember, the statement does not belong to the individual, the president. In fact, it is a statement of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, and the president delivers it on behalf of the collective.
And speaking about the foundation of the ANC, and yesterday we had the ANC Youth League speak on this issue as well, and that's the foundation of the ANC being around non-racialism. And you see some of the tweets that have been coming forward right at the moment, and the ANC Youth League saying that it's just pockets of racism that's happening in South Africa. South Africa isn't a racist country. What's your views on what's currently unfolding, and can we expect something from the president along those lines?
I think the ANC, again, as a caring organization, as an organization that has its ears on the ground, would always move with what touches our people. The issues of racism that are coming up, and sadly, yesterday we saw yet again something, in fact, which was racism combined with sexism, in terms of a statement by one of the journalists that we have worked with over the years, and were very, very disappointed. So as the ANC, we react, we're normal. So when there's something that provokes, we do get upset. However, as the leader, we are saying, much as we respond and we say what we need to say to put things into perspective, we cannot say our people are racist, because our people are not racist. That's the only reason we didn't drive one another to the ocean. We lived together. We were able to sit and talk with people who ordinarily over the years were called enemies. But we talked. We did not care that in fact we are of a different skin. And so even now we're saying we will deal with this thing as we normally do as South Africans together. We will talk about it. We will agree collectively. We don't think we should paint broadly the South African society as racist. But that's not denying the fact that some of the things that some of the people have been saying are very upsetting.
Do you think that there is a level of intolerance, and what do you think informs that level of intolerance? Some people have been arguing. For instance, yesterday we had a Facebook post that came from Velaphi, who is an employee of the Gauteng Department of Arts and Culture, and quite hectic hate speech coming through from his post. Do you think there is a level of intolerance also from the black society in South Africa?
I want to say, we cannot, when a black person reacts to racism, take attention away from those that started this cycle of all this commentary that is very, very regrettable. Yes, our people might react in different ways, but what is more important is to deal with the reality that we have been discovering in the past few weeks, and that is the depth of hatred that our white compatriots, or some of our white compatriots, still entertain. I mean, when it comes to, for instance, to the journalist, having been interviewed by that person, having interacted with her, I would never have suspected that she's capable of that depth of hatred, because that thing exposes what they've been able to hide for a long time. And I think this is what is showing up. And I think that's what we must deal with.
something actually that the president mentioned last year during his reconciliation speech in PE was that what we should do as South Africans is that we should learn to tell our stories, the stories from the past and all the pain that we still carry. Do you think that that will then help with the level of social cohesion, heading into a better society, heading into a society of non-racialism and pure tolerance?
Actually, nothing has proved to be better than verbalizing the things that we harbor inside us. Whether it be pain or anger or a memory of something that you've never been able to express, let's find ways of channeling those things so that we deal with them, we cleanse ourselves so that we can get on with the business of living together as a society, like many other societies who are able to deal with one another as fellow country people. We, when we were outside South Africa, saw that our children were never conscious of race in the way that the South African society has experienced in terms of apartheid and discrimination on the basis of the fact that your color is different from somebody else's color. So we have not yet dealt with those issues. We still have a lot of homework to do. And I think what has come out is saying to us, South Africa, be alert. This is a problem. Be honest. Sit. Talk about it honestly.
And just quickly, Chairperson, before we wrap up, this January 8th statement also happens in a year where we head into the municipal elections. Obviously, you've been part of the door-to-door campaigns as well. The Deputy President was in Tlokwe. How confident are you guys when you look at municipalities like Tlokwe as well as Tshwane and Nelson Mandela Bay and Johannesburg, that those are the municipalities that you will retain and possibly also win over municipalities in the Western Cape?
The ANC is always confident. We are confident that from whatever weaknesses we might have seen in the past, in the recent past, in any of these areas, we know, for instance, in Tlokwe, we had to deal with a couple of occasions when indeed there were...
Okay, we're going to... Are you able to speak? Are you able to? Okay, let's continue. Let's just quickly pick up.
I think we shouldn't take it that maybe because there were certain developments or dramas or bumps or difficulties that we might have gone through, it therefore means we have no chance of winning. We go into the campaign and the local government elections very confident that the ANC will do very well. We will surprise many of our detractors.
Well, thank you. That was the National Chairperson of the ANC, Baleka Mbete, speaking to us about the January 8th statement. As you know, that today, today, the ANC celebrates its 104th anniversary, and the January 8th statement will be delivered tomorrow by President Jacob Zuma. And it's back to you in studio.
So much for that very riveting discussion indeed, Aldrin. I think a lot of the key issues that have been making headlines have come to the fore, and it's absolutely important that they are brought to our attention as well. And I think Baleka Mbete just described in detail the past, the present, and the future going forward with regard to all of this. She gave us some insight as to where it all emanated from and how it should be dealt with. We'll continue to take a look at that issue and many more in just a moment. Stay with us.